Good morning to all of you. How's it going today? Starting with just a little smudging. Happy Sunday. Welcome to practice. Sacred Flow 60. Today, the plan is to do a little hip work, a little base of the body awareness, also a little bit of nourishment to the feet as well. So we'll be just kind of like working our way around the lower body and like feeling good, opening up, getting strong. There's a new playlist for this morning. We're going to begin lying on the back. And if you're using that new playlist, you can press play right now. Let's head over. So my plan is to use these blocks at the end of class. You can just set them off to the side. Okay, let's do it. So as you come to lie on the back, we're going to start by doing some like pelvic tilts just to feel the hips, the sacrum, just sort of like pressing into the mat. You know, I love, especially if I'm doing like an anatomical focus of class, just to like just feel it, you know, drop your awareness into that space, activate it in a certain way. So if you want to like wiggle around or even like cat cow the spine, just to tilt around on your low back and that hip region. Before finding your way to a nice flat spine, fully grounded, even that low back is pressing down, and the feet planted on the floor. Heel toe the feet as wide as the mat, and let your knees fall in toward one another. Just putting yourself in restorative rest. And then the hands can rest right at the hip creases. And start to deepen the breath, watching it fill the belly. Maybe it moves your hands a little bit. Just try to let the breath take up as much space as it can in this hip region. So feel it like spreading outward into your hips, opening up, creating space in your low back. And then on your breath in, reach your arms overhead. And bending the elbows out to the side, goalpost the arms. And start to windshield the legs from side to side. Feel that weight shift in the low back from side to side. You can even like access the outer hip a little bit. It's like a nice little hip massage. One more to each side, and then we're going to draw the knees into the chest, giving ourselves a hug, holding onto the shins. And then bring the soles of the feet together, reach through the knees and grab the outside edges of the feet, drawing those heels in towards you, drawing the toes in towards you. Just breathe. Maybe the eyes close and you're just focusing on the sensations that you feel. Now we're going to, with the peace fingers of the right hand, hold on to the right big toe and just keep that leg where it is. And then releasing your left leg, knee bent, feet flat on the floor. Wait, I'm so sorry. Your right hand is going to grab the arch of the right foot, excuse me. And we're taking this into a half happy baby. So we're going to bend the knees so that the sole of the foot is shining to the sky. Bending your right knee out to the side, just as if you were in happy baby, and holding onto the arch of the foot. I'm so sorry, I forgot what I was doing. The left knee bent, foot flat on the floor. And if you want a little bit more, you can extend your left leg. Otherwise, right here is fine. Nice and grounded. Left hand on the hip. One more breath here. And then the soles of the feet together again. Grab the outside edges. Give yourself a squeeze. And then left hand holds the arch of the left foot. Release your right leg, knee bent, foot flat, or extending the leg. Half happy baby. Ardha Ananda Balasana. Last deep breath. And on your next exhale, a final time, hugging the feet in towards the navel with the knees wide. And then gently close the knees, hold on to the backs of the thighs, and you can rock and roll up to a tabletop position or roll to your side, pressing up. Nice. And we're going to continue this nice gentle on-ramp for the hips, starting with some hip circles. So on hands and knees with your hands under the shoulders, the knees roughly under the hips. You could start going, I'm counterclockwise here, if you want to join me counterclockwise. Just swiveling the hips around in a nice big circle. Pressing to the sides. You can really exaggerate like how hard you're pressing the hips to side, and that will create a nice little stretch. Beautiful. The next time the heart comes forward, just pause. Slowly lower to your belly. Hands under shoulders, untuck your toes on your inhale. Cobra, lifting your heart. Think about extending your crown forward and up. On your exhale, lower down. Take it into child's pose. Just for a moment, and then walking the hands in. Tuck your toes. Bring your knees in closer and rise up in this sort of activated hero's pose. So the toes are tucked, sitting on the heels. Hands on the thighs, right at the hip crease. Just get a little heavier through your tailbone. Long stacked spine. Breathe into the feet, into the toes. Wait for 5 breaths. Soften your gaze somewhere. One more big inhale. As you exhale, hands to the mat, forward fold. Lift your hips up to the sky, soften into your knees. Start to shift some weight back. Big breath in. Long breath out. And now we're just going to reverse. So bend back into the knees, bring them down to the earth, and then walk your hands forward into your tabletop. So we'll start our hip circles this time clockwise if you're with me. And you can untuck those toes. Moving, you can get a little bit more expressive with it if you want to get a little creative with your shoulders, with how you're rolling your head. One or two more circles, and as you inhale, sweep your heart forward, and with control, lower down, elbows shade the ribs, untucking toes, hands under shoulders. For Cobra, as you inhale, lift. Again, think about the crown of your head reaching forward as you lift. Exhale, child's pose. Take it back. Take it back now, y'all. Deep breath in. Full breath out. As you inhale, walk your hands in. Tuck the toes and bring the knees a little closer. Beautiful. In that toe tucked kneeling shape. Hands at heart center this time. Interlace your fingers as you exhale, round your spine and bow your chin to chest. Inhale, send the palms up and soften the elbows. Think about a cow belly breath. Exhale, round the spine, pressing the palms forward. Move with your breath. But really soften the elbows here over your head. And if it's a lot to be on the toes like this, you can always untuck them or place a block between your feet. But notice if the focus on the breath eases the load on the toes or takes your mind away from how that feels. On the next exhale, hands to the earth, forward bend, lift your hips. Beautiful. Grab opposite elbows and let's ragdoll. Create a little traction in the spine with how much weight you're putting into this center area. Then on your breath in, hands to your shins, lift halfway. Exhale, walk your hands to downward facing dog. And just breathe. Maybe it feels good to pedal out the feet. On your exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and take a little walk up to your hands. Inhaling your hands to shins, lift halfway. Again, think about the crown of your head reaching forward here. Exhale, soften the knees for Uttanasana, forward bend. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms high. Gather your navel in and exhale, hands to heart center. And here, if you'd like to join me in a single Om, you're more than welcome to. Breathing in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's start with some salutes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot lunges back. Drop the knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, arms to Anjaneya overhead. Beautiful. As you exhale, hands frame the front foot and shift your hips back into a half Hanumanasana. So I know we said we wouldn't need these blocks until later, but if you would like to have them handy on either side, back for a little support in your half split, go for it. I would even just maybe leave them on either side. Walk your hands forward, inhale, low lunge, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank pose. Knees up or down, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Heels hugging inward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Look forward, walk, step, or hop to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Uh-oh. Exhale, fold. I thought something was wrong. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, fold right back down. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, left foot lunges. Drop the knee and tuck your toes. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the earth or blocks and shift your weight back. Half Hanumanasana. Fold your heart towards your toes. Breathe. Beautiful. Inhale, bend back into the knee, downward facing dog. And let's flow forward to plank. Knees up or down for your chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Full breath. And then let's look forward and travel forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Folding down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pausing between sets. Feel. And let's keep going. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, right foot lunges. Drop the knee and tuck the toes. Inhale, float the arms up. Reach your thumbs back, top of the inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth or to your blocks. Straighten your front leg and bring your hips back over your knee. Breathe. Flexing that left foot if you wish. Inhale, walk your hands forward, downward facing dog. Flowing through vinyasa or just stay in the dog. Looking forward, travel to your thumbs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, left foot lunges, dropping the knee on, tuck the toes. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to the earth or blocks, half Hanumanasana. Heart reaches forward. On your inhale, walking forward, downward facing dog. And let's move through the vinyasa if you want to. And let's breathe. Now as we continue forward, I would recommend having your blocks here on either side still. On either side of the mat. And as you exhale, look forward and walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Again, softening into the knees. Let's just enjoy the forward bend for a moment. You can give your fingers a little wiggle. Or if you want to stretch the hands or give your wrists a little stretch, place the hands under the feet, stepping on the palms for Padahastasana. Bring the toes all the way up to the wrist creases. And as you fold, you can bend your elbows out to the side. Bring your chin towards your chest. Feel a little weight shift towards the toes. And let's release. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, folding down and slowly rise, arms overhead. And then hands to the heart. Just pausing, being still for a few moments. So blinking the eyes open, let's bring the hands to the hips. And I love this little maneuver. I don't really cue it very much, but in Ashtanga especially, there's this action of like hopping the feet as wide as the hips. So just take a look at the feet. And then softening the knees. Give them a little hop so that they're right underneath the hips. I think it's cute. And then from here, we're again going to soften into the knees as we gaze forward, getting ready for a little balance work. Lift the right knee into the chest and then figure 4 cross the your right ankle over your left knee. Sitting back and down in a little figure 4 chair. You can squeeze the elbows back, keep your heart open. Beautiful. Building on this, we can bring hands to the heart, or you can send the arms overhead. Or if it's in your practice to bring your hands to the earth and take this into flying pigeon, you could do that. Or just bringing the fingertips to the earth is a really nice deep stretch. It's like a pigeon stretch in your right hip. Flex the right foot. Good. Take another breath. And then with hands at heart center, we're going to slowly rise, bring the right knee into the chest again, and step all the way back into warrior one. Ooh, I'm like all mixed up today. Left foot forward, right foot lands at a 45-degree angle. Beautiful. And with your hands at heart center, just feel your right hip spiraling forward. And then send your arms up to the sky. Maybe a lot of awakening happening in that front leg. Breathe into it. One more big breath here. Virabhadrasana 1. And inhale, straighten your front leg. Hop your back foot in a little bit. Shortening your stance to like 3.5 feet-ish. And then exhale, bring your hands down, again to the earth on either side of your front foot, or grab your blocks. Inhale, lift halfway and feel your right hip pull forward, your left hip pull back in space. Engage the navel and then fold heart to toes. In this pyramid stretch, intense side stretch, feeling it in your hip, IT band, hamstrings. Staying with that a few more moments. One more deep breath here. Inhale, lift halfway. Send those blocks to the side. Hands to the earth for three-legged dog. So lift to your back toes and then swing your left leg all the way up and back. Bending the knee, fanning the hip open. Beautiful. Now from here, just bring your gaze forward. Look towards your hands. And we're going to step the left foot to the outside of the hands. Good. Let the toes point outward. And then step your right foot forward as well, coming into squat. So you have your blocks. You can place one under your hips for this first one. If you're kind of like easing into it. Remember that we'll be doing this on the second side. So if you want to take this moment to be like more gentle with the opening, a little more restorative, go for it. So feet are as wide as the mat, hands at heart center. Feel the elbows pressing against the inside of the knees. Breathing deep. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to the earth. Bring your block forward and to the side. We're going to step back to plank pose and lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck your toes and extend the arms back by your sides. Spiral the palms to face down. Bring your big toes to touch and rest your chin. Big breath in. Big breath out. Preparing for locust pose. So before we lift, feel your hips rounding down, that whole pubis area, pressing in towards the mat. Beautiful. And then on your inhale, peel your heart up, float the arms, and then lift your toes. Keep the legs nice and long. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. For your pinky fingers coming toward each other. One more deep breath in, lifting higher. And exhale, release. Hands under shoulders. Let's press back through tabletop to child's pose. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Nowhere to be but here and now. Breathing in, rise to tabletop, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Can flush through the vinyasa here if you'd like. Exhaling, look forward, travel to the hands. Inhale, lift your head. And exhale, folding down. Rise up as you breathe in. And then hands to heart center. Bring hands to the hips. When you're ready, with nice soft knees, hop the feet right under the hips. Soften the knees, find your drishti, and then float your left knee in. Figure four, cross the left angle over the right knee. Sitting back and down. Hands are still in the hips for these first moments, just to really stabilize, to open the heart, feel the hips. You can sort of like press your own hips back in space. And then taking this into whatever variation you like, with the hands at the heart, the arms overhead. After a breath or two, you can slowly bring the hands down to the earth, going deeper into the so standing pigeon stretch, or you can take this into flying pigeon, the arm balance. Just check in that your toes are pointing forward. Relax the jaw even here. And then slowly we'll bring the hands to heart center. Float the left knee into the chest and step back to warrior one. Hinging, send your left foot all the way back. And then make your adjustments. Breathing in, send your arms overhead. Right over the shoulders, relax the shoulders away from the ears. I think of this shape less as a back bend, more of a place where you would stack the spine right on top of the hips. Drop into that front knee a little bit more. And then inhale, straighten the front leg, hop your back foot in a little to shorten the stance. The back foot is still at 45 degrees. Exhale, hands to the earth or to your blocks. And square up those hips. Feel the right hip go back, left hip forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold heart to toes. Gaze at your big toe. One more breath here. Inhale, lift halfway, move your blocks to the side. As you exhale, three-legged dog, sending your right leg all the way up and back. Bend the knee, fan the hip open. Long through the arms and level in the shoulders. So drop that right shoulder down a little bit as you stack the right hip on top of the left. And then looking forward as you exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your hands. Angle your toes out and then step your left foot forward, coming into Malasana squat. I have to say, I really enjoyed that restorative version, so I'm going to go with it again, but this time, bringing my block down to its lowest setting. Which I honestly like. I love this restorative shape so much, because I also feel like it just sort of like grounds your tailbone, your root in a really nice way, and really empowers the spine nice and straight and the heart nice and lifted. It like creates a special kind of ease in this pose. Having block under the hips. One more deep round of breath. And then planting the hands. Move your block out of the way. Step back to plank pose. And lower down nice and slow. Untuck the toes. Send the arms back by your sides. So we're going to take locust here if you like, or we're going to take bow pose. And if you're taking bow, bend the knees. Reach back for the outside edges of the feet. Relax your chin or forehead on the mat. Soften as you exhale. And then as you breathe in, lift, kick into your hands. Breathing really deep. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Keep your knees bent, but bring your hands forward underneath your chin or forehead. And just windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Feet to mat, hands under shoulders, press through tabletop. Round the spine like an angry cat. And then take it into child's pose. And then rising up. Sitting on the heels for a moment, we're going to get ready for one of our final poses, which is going to be a supported frog or a little frog variation. Nice. So I'm going to offer frog with the knees on blocks. This should be like an interesting kind of new sensation. So we'll try this together, and if this feels like just not right in your body, then you can grab your blanket and unfold it nice and wide so you can like pad your knees in that way. I do think it's really nice to have padding under the knees in frog, and if you want to like maybe open up your blanket even more to pad under the tops of the feet, it just really makes a difference. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to place the blocks at the lowest height, a bit wider than the knees here. And if you're familiar with frog or you're experienced here, maybe you know where your knees will want to go. I'm going to come forward onto hands and knees and then lift one knee at a time on these blocks. Fun. So the alignment here is the knee lines up with the hip. Everything's a right angle. So the knee lines up with the hip. The knee stacks over the heel and your toes go out to the side. And then once you find that, bring your elbows down to the earth and just enjoy that stretch. Feel free to go wider with the knees. Just slide your block out. And then once you're here, just play around a bit with shifting the hips back and forward and just see how that feels. Sometimes you can really press into a deeper sensation and then breathe out of it. Find your sweet spot and then stay still for a few moments. It's like, I wonder if this variation would change anyone's mind about frog, if they're not a fan, if they're like, oh, this is actually nice. Curious. Take another breath here. And then slowly walk your hands in. Toes together, lift off of the blocks. Ooh, take your time. You could sit back in child's pose or sit up on the heels. Mona says this is the closest that she's ever come to enjoying frog. I love it. Hmm. Okay, kiddos, let's come back and make our way onto our backs. You can set your blocks to the side. As you land, let's find our way into that same kind of beginning shape with the knees bent, the feet flat on the floor. This time the feet are about hip distance, and you can open your arms to a T or to goalpost. For a nice simple twist, we're just going to lift the hips, set them off to the right side, and then let your knees fall left. Hips right, knees left. And with your left hand, grab a hold of your top thigh. On your breath in, come through center. Swing your hips left, let your knees fall right. Right hand grabs your top thigh. Inhale back to center. Let's end with the knees and the chest, maybe taking this into a happy baby. Or any other closing shape that you'd like to take. Send the legs up. Let the knees open wide with the soles of the feet together. Little yogi's choice for just a couple moments. And then when you're ready, you can extend the legs. Bring the arms to your sides. Let the palms face up, coming into Shavasana. starting to deepen the breath. We're going to make our way back from Shavasana. And from Shavasana, if you haven't yet, extending the arms overhead, stretching, making your way onto your right side. Pressing up, placing hands in Anjali Mudra. We'll seal our practice with the closing invocation. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and actions contribute to the safety and freedom of beings everywhere. Thank you for being with me today. Hope your hips are feeling activated and stretched. Let's bring thumbs to third eye and we'll bow as we say Namaste.